Everybody should use the 24-hour rule. And then they also need to understand the difference between needs and wants. So again, your need is something that you have to survive. And a want is something that you just want, but you don't need for your everyday life. Hi, and welcome to Beyond the Paycheck. I'm Paula Christine. So last week we talked about your money mindset and how I had a mindset of scarcity and how I changed that through using therapist life coach, affirmations, and then meditations, and then changing the negative thoughts that are in my head. So again, if you want to learn more about that, just shoot me an email at paulachristine.com. I've got some affirmations that you can borrow from me. And I also have a worksheet that you can go through to figure out what your money mindset is and how to work on that. So I did mention that we should talk about money personalities because they kind of go hand in hand. So you have your money mindset, which gives you that belief about money. And then you have that money personality is how you react towards spending and saving. So I struggle with trying to fit myself into what money personality that I am because I have a bit of a saver inside of me, but I also have a bit of a spender inside of me. I become a spender when I'm stressed, and I become a saver when I feel confident in my life. So I don't really fit into either one of those categories 100%, but there's 5 that I typically talk about a lot, and we're going to go through what those 5 are. And the best way that I know to figure out your money personality is 1, you could take my course on making money matter, or 2, go on to just put it into Google search and just put in money personality quizzes and take as many quizzes as you want and to figure out who you are. And then what are some of the tools that you can do to change or improve your money personality. So let's talk about the first one. I call it the big spender. So it's the person that has the nice cars, the big house, they have the brand name clothes, they dine at the best restaurants, they have all the gadgets. Their short-term wants outweigh their savings and long-term goals. So they live for the moment. So they often have a lot of debt and they don't work to save, they work to spend. Now, if you're that big spender, which is not a bad thing, it's just that there's some things you can do to improve your money personality to maybe become a big saver also. So some of the things that you're going to want to look at is to improve is to put in place the pay it yourself first philosophy. So the pay it yourself first philosophy means that you're going to, when you receive your paycheck, you're going to allocate money towards savings before you spend it. A lot of people do this already within their 401k. They allocate a certain part of their paycheck to go to their 401k, which is great. But you also have other spendings and there's other type of savings accounts that you should have also. That's a whole different subject. We can talk about that later. But anyway, so you're going to pay it yourself first. So you're going to maybe contribute to your 401k, IRA so that you have money for the future. And maybe you're going to contribute to your emergency account so that if something happens, you have money to go to so you don't have to use your credit card. And we want to do these as best we can so that they're automated. So your retirement account is automated already. Your payroll person does that for you. And then your personal savings, you can ask your bank to take money out of your checking account or have it set up for an automatic transfer. Or maybe you have to go in each week as you receive your paycheck and make that allocation yourself into your savings account. The other thing you need to do is understand the difference between needs versus wants. So as need is shelter, food, anything that you need to survive. A want is new golf clubs. A want is getting your fingernails done. A want is, country club membership. A want is a boat. A want is anything that you don't need to survive. So learning the difference between the two of those is awesome when it comes to even just getting yourself on track, when it comes to just understanding your money. Another good rule of thumb is to use the 24-hour rule. So what the 24-hour rule states that if you see something that you want, not that you need, but that you want, is that you wait 24 hours to purchase it. you're likely not going to go back to the store to purchase because you're going to get busy doing other things. Now, this has become a little bit more difficult since all you have to do is go on Amazon and hit the button and it's at your house within, sometimes within a couple of hours, if not a couple of days. That's made the 24-hour rule a little bit harder to work for. So what I do is I put it into my cart. So I have things in my cart that I basically am impulse shopping on. And then I put it in my cart and then I close Amazon. Then I have to think about going back on Amazon to repurchase it. And lots of times I get busy, or to purchase it, not repurchase it. But lots of times I get busy and I forget. And it might be maybe a week before I go back onto Amazon and I'll see it in the cart. And then I'll think, you know what? I really didn't need that. And then I'll take it out of my cart. So that you can use the 24-hour rule if you're shopping, going out to shop, or you can use that rule if you're doing online shopping. So there are some other tools, but we're going to move on to the next mindset, which is the shopper. So the shopper is very much like the big spender, except the big spender is kind of doing things for themselves, where the shopper kind of gets the thrill out of buying something for maybe somebody else, or they're just really generous people. They tend to experience buyer's remorse. So they'll buy something and then they'll feel really regretful about it. But here's the thing. They often don't take those purchases back. So I know this woman, lovely, lovely woman, who has a 4,000 square foot home. And she has in her basement and all of her closets, and I think she even turned into one bedroom. All of them are full of clothes. She has this impulse to buy clothes. It's like whatever it is inside of her that it gives her such, fills some void, I guess you'd want to say, to where buying clothes makes her feel good, makes her feel something anyway. She has clothes that have the price tag still on them that she has never worn. She won't take them back because taking them back, she can't for some reason. It's gotten worse since her husband passed away. She told me once that she could go to Sunday Mass for 2 years and never wear the same outfit for church in 2 years. That's 104 outfits that she has just to go to church. I mean, so she has some sort of issue. She probably needs to get some sort of therapy, and that can help too if you have this shoppers and you're spending on either other people or yourself. Sometimes therapy might help. But what we work with her on is, again, using the 24-hour rule, because if she doesn't go into this, she goes in the store and she has to come back, she's not likely to do that. She should honestly get somebody in there to help her and sell a lot of that clothing. She probably could open herself her own store. And then she maybe needs to switch the feeling of the attachment and the emotion that she has towards spending and make that attachment to savings. Instead of seeing her closet grow with all these clothes, watching her savings grow with all the money that she's putting in there because she's not spending it on clothing. So it's not bad, again, to be a shopper. It's just that can we shop and still accomplish our other goals in life, which may be, retirement or, building your emergency account or getting out of debt. So those are the kinds of things that a shopper would likely want to look to change. Okay, moving on. Saver. Saver is not a bad personality at all to have. I mean, you get a rush out of savings. You're watching your savings account grow. So I'm doing that now. Even though I'm buying a house, I'm actually watching my savings account grow, and it really makes me feel good. I love watching my savings account grow. Savers tend to be a little bit more responsible when it comes to saving. They'll put saving to spending. They'll put saving before spending. That is not me. And like I said, I'm between a shopper and a saver. A savers look for bargains. I do look for bargains. I try to buy everything on sale. One of the things that I have done for myself is I hired an image consultant to help me with clothing and what clothes look best on me. And you're thinking, oh my God, she's loaded It wasn't expensive at all. It was $350. If you want her name, just email me at paulachristine.com. I will send it to you. But it was the best thing I ever did. She told me what colors to wear, what necklines to wear. So now when I go shopping, I can shop at thrift stores. Or likely I'm buying stuff that still have the price tags on from the shoppers who bought it and never wore it, and now they're donating it to the thrift store. I can just quickly go through thrift stores and look for my colors and look for my necklines and all the things that I need to do to buy my clothing. So that was a really good thing. Now, a saver can also be somebody that that's that friend that you consider to be cheap, who, comes to the bill, comes to the table, you're out with your girlfriends, there's 6 of you. Instead of dividing the bill up 6 ways, they're going to cut it down and figure out how much everybody has spent so that everybody has to pay their exact share. So we all have those friends. So you know who I'm talking about. Now, a saver actually avoids debt as much as possible. They can because they have enough in savings. So how would a saver improve? There's a lot of good qualities about that. But one of the good qualities that the saver gives up is that quality of life, because they'll put making sure that they have enough money in before going out and having a good time with their friends. So it's trying to find that balance between, having financial security, but also being able to enjoy life. Okay. So we have the next personality, which is not the best personality to have, and one that you really need to do some work on if this is you. And I'm not judging here anybody. I never do, because most of us have been probably this person at one point in our life. And that's the person who has a lot of debt. So a debtor will actually borrow money to spend it. So what do I mean by that? They have to have something, so they'll go out and get a loan or use their credit card to have it, even though that it's going to put them in further debt. So most likely, if you're a debtor, you live paycheck to paycheck because you're spending more than you earn. And if you're in a situation other than it's because of the fact that you don't have enough money because your income isn't enough to support your bills, not because it's a lifestyle you chose, but it's just because that's your current situation. But if you do have enough money coming into your bills, but you have a lot of debt because you need to fill that need of buying something, even though you don't have the money, then again, we're going to go back to maybe that shopper personality, and you might want to sit down and talk with somebody. Maybe it's about your money mindset that needs to be changed. Check out last week's episode. Or, what is that the reason that you're getting into debt, what that void is that you're feeling, and what you need to work on to control that. So what can a debtor do? So a debtor needs to start tracking their spending, and it may be something that you're tracking daily to make sure that you're living within your budget. To be getting out of this situation is you really need to create a budget and a plan to get out of debt. So we talk about this in the Making Money Matter course that I have created in Module 2 about creating a budget and how to get out of debt and working on getting control of your finances. Again, the debtor should use the 24-hour rule. Actually, everybody should use the 24-hour rule. And then they also need to understand the difference between needs and wants. So again, your need is something that you have to survive. And a want is something that you just want, but you don't need for your everyday life. That is the debtor. They can, it's probably one of the hardest personalities to improve, because it takes a lot of work and it's a lot of accountability, and it can be done. You just may need to find someone who can work through it with you, not necessarily a therapist or a coach. It could be just a friend of yours that's going to help you become accountable to your spending and helping you get out of debt. And the last personality we're going to talk about is the investor. So if in a perfect world, you'd be the combination of the investor, the saver, and the spender, so that you could be all three. Those would be like the perfect personality. We'll call that the Paula personality. Anyway, so you like to see a profit from making investments. So you educate yourself on the markets, you educate yourself on, maybe it's buying real estate, whatever it is that you're looking to make a profit on. So you're thinking about the future and you're watching your money grow. So the saver and the investor are very much similar personalities, except the investor is more about making money, where the saver is about saving money. They're not necessarily looking at returns as much as the investor is. So how does the investor improve? Well, this is a pretty cool personality to have, but lots of times they, like the saver, forget to enjoy life. They're thinking about how to make money so much that they forget about how to have a balanced life and to enjoy life, doing some fun things. It's not always about making money, but it is a cool personality to have. So if you can kind of incorporate 3 personalities into one, the investor, the spender, and the saver would be 3 that would make a really nice. Now, if you're a couple, you really want to know who your spouse is, know their personality so that you can work. So let's say you have an investor and a big spender. Oof, you could see how that might cause a lot of conflict, because one wants to have the yacht, and the other one's like, well, I could take that money and buy a piece of property and we can rent it out. And you can see how that could cause conflict. But if you learn to work together and to communicate and to talk about money, maybe on a weekly basis, maybe both of you could have the yacht and the property. So understanding who your spouse is really key to a great relationship and having that communication. Okay, so I am done talking about money personalities. Take some quizzes online to figure out who you are. And I have a PDF if you'd like me to send that to you. Reach out to me at paula@paulachristine.com. Check out my website too at paulachristine.com, where you can see the Making Money Matter course if you'd like to take advantage of that also. Anyway, have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.